keep your SCV, you know, or SCV or probe or drone or whatever pump going, and not to let off production of worker units. And there are exceptions to that rule, like there are to just about every rule in StarCraft. But it's odd that they're not macro anymore. Big vulture force for Canata now, posturing outside Light's base, and Light has split his forces between the two entrances to his natural. So playing sort of defensively, and that may work against him if Canata tries to push in. He does have tanks out now though, and looks like he's researching siege mode. Could be mines, but I think it's probably siege mode, and that's going to allow him to defend pretty easily against this superior number of vultures, I think, given these little ramps here that he can hold with the tanks. He might try to press out now, though. It looks like he is getting ready to go across that bridge. We'll see just an SCV there guarding the back entrance, and we can see a number of vultures going around now, so Canata may try to attack and get in the back way. He lays a bunch of mines there. We'll see whether those vultures go in and are able to do some harassment on the natural. Meanwhile, forces posturing in the middle. Looks like they're about to meet. Yeah, they do meet in the middle, and we'll see who has superior vultures here. But Light's tanks, I think, are going to force Canata to play very cautiously with his vultures, because I think it's 2 tank hits kills off the vultures, so the tanks can do a lot of damage very quickly. Meanwhile, Canata does have 1 tank out, and he'll probably have more shortly, so he's also going this mixed build. Now big vulture battle in the middle, and I think, well, Canata has a lot more coming in. He has his own tank up there, but his tank's going to get taken out pretty shortly, I think. 4 tanks for Light. So, yeah, and Canata is being forced back. So Canata is at a bit of a disadvantage here. We'll see how he's able to defend. He has 1 tank siege there in the background, but 4 tanks still alive for Light, and those tanks are going to press up and try to at least hold this bridge. Two factories with machine shops now for Light, so he'll be able to press out with more tanks, but also for Canata, so we should see relatively balanced production. Some forces meeting over on the right side. I'm not sure why they're over there, but I'm sure they have their reasons. And now Light's pushing down there. I don't know if Canata's put down an expansion in the bottom right, if that's the reason why Light's pressing him. There is a supply depot there, so maybe he was thinking about putting down a command center. But meanwhile, Canata's trying to push up this middle route. He's going to try to take out that tank, and he probably will be able to with all those mines, but oh my god, splashes 5 of his own vultures out of existence, so very costly way of taking out that single tank there. And a big force for Light is now pressing up. Canata's sieging up in the background, but he's still way down on tank count. I'm not sure why he's not able to produce more tanks. But both of his tanks are wiped out almost instantly. So, whoa, starports, 2 starports going down for Canata. So Canata is going to transition into wraiths, at least for a little while. But meanwhile, an armory is going up for Light. So Light's going to have Goliaths out to deal with that pretty shortly. And he did build an academy earlier, so he should have ComSat as well. A little fight going on in the middle now. And Light is going to be forced back. Good job with mines there by Canata. Had to take a little bit of a break there. Hopefully the audio is seamless, but there may be a tiny bit of lag, so I apologize for that if there is. In any event, Canata now pushing out and loses a tank to mines there, and Light is putting down his 3rd base. So we might see the players transitioning into some more defensive play, but Canata's scouted that out. He's going to take down that SCV, so delaying that expansion at least a little bit. Meanwhile, Canata has this big force posturing in the middle. He's going to fall back a little bit. I'm not sure why, but he'll probably send up some vultures to deal with that expansion relatively soon, or to reclaim that expansion. Wraiths are out, but Goliaths are out too, so the Wraiths aren't going to be able to do all that much, I don't think. Yeah, one Wraith going down, another Wraith taking damage. So, I think that switching to Wraiths was a little bit of a mistake on Canata's part. I don't think he's going to be able to capitalize on it this late in the game. Sometimes Wraiths are an effective counter to these sort of tank vulture builds, because obviously tanks and vultures don't shoot air, so it does at least force the player to switch tech a little bit and get Goliaths out, but by this late in the game you want the armory anyway for upgrades, and you probably have the resources to produce some Goliaths. Now a big fight over this expansion between opposing groups of vultures. Oh, and the Wraiths are going to catch some tanks out in the field, and I'm not sure how close the Goliath support is. Meanwhile, this force of Canata's is being wiped out, or wiped up at the 12 o'clock position. 3 tanks go down at the cost of 1 Wraith, so relatively good exchange there, but I still don't think it compensates for all the resources that Canata's sunk in. He is building a control tower, so he's going to try to get cloaking up, I guess. I still don't think that's a good use of resources, especially since Light's about to have this 3rd command center down, and that means 3 comsat stations and plenty of comsat to deal with cloaked Wraiths. So, we'll see. He's going to, I guess, try to take down the comsat station, but that's not a very good long-term solution. Does take down the SCV, and loses a Wraith in the process, so not a great tech switch so far from Canata. I'd love to see one of the players go into early battle cruisers at this point. I don't think it's going to happen, but battle cruisers are always fun to see in TVT. And, we see them every so often, probably a couple games every season go to that stage. But this would be pretty early to make the switch for anyone except Firebat Hero, who does love his battle cruisers. But I think even he would not switch quite this early. Anyhow, Canata is Light, sorry, is sieging up in the middle. Canata, meanwhile, has taken this bottom right position. So the player's still more or less at mirror builds, and Canata's dropping something there at the 9 o'clock. I don't think that's an island, so it wouldn't make sense to drop an STV. And I think Stein's facility now coming down for Light, so Light's going to try to get those level 2 upgrades going. Oh, Vulture drop coming in at the main, and takes out 1 SCV, or maybe 2, but not extremely effective. Oh, there was a tank back there, so that tank's going to be a little bit hard to clean up, but Light does have the forces here to deal with it eventually. And he might try to pick up that tank so he can save it. But, yeah, he does unsiege. Oh, and good mine placement. Takes out a tank and 1 or 2 vultures. So, good job there, and he does cost Light a little bit of mining time. So, probably an effective harassment on the whole, but nothing huge. Engineering bay floating out for scouting purposes. And turrets going down for Light. So Light's going to try to build sort of an old-fashioned divide the map in half Terran wall here and claim that 9 o'clock position for himself and the sort of inside 9 o'clock that's below the ramp there, probably. We'll see how quickly he puts up those command centers. Canata runs into that little turret wall and almost loses a dropship, but does make it out. Sieging up in the center and both players settling into position.